Hello, hi all. So welcome back to the tutorial. So in the today's tutorial, I got some comments on my videos that people feel that Glide Ajax is quite complicated, okay, and they don't understand how to use Glide Ajax, okay. So in this tutorial, we will be looking over the Glide Ajax only, okay. So let's start. Let's go to the ServiceNow docs first. So this is a ServiceNow docs for Glide Ajax. So let's see what exactly the Glide Ajax does. So Glide Ajax class enables a client script to call server-side code in a script include. Okay. So in simple word, you have a code on server side. You can, if you want to call that code in client side, you will use Glide Ajax. Okay. To use Glide Ajax in a client script, we have to just follow 4 steps. Okay, it's not difficult. We have to just follow 4 steps. Okay, first of all, what you have to do, first of all, you have to create a Glide Ajax instance by calling Glide Ajax constructor. So the first method will be like we will be creating a script include. We will be making that script include as client callable, and then we will be calling that particular client callable script include. Okay, and we will create a function over there which we want to call. Okay, from the server side. Then on a client side, we will be following 4 steps. First, we will be create a Glide Ajax instance. It's like simply new Glide Ajax. Okay, how we generally used to do by calling the constructor. Then we have to pass add param name. So sys param name, you can see this parameter. Okay, this will be the first context. We have to set this parameter out, and this parameter we have to set with the function name which we want to call from that particular script include. So as you know, script include can be a library of multiple functions also. So which particular function we want to call, it will be decided by this. Then the third parameter is optional. Okay, it's like we have to set some additional parameters, okay, to perform certain actions on server side, right? So that will be another thing. Okay, and then simply we execute the code, okay, by calling get XML or get XML wait. Okay, so most preferred method is get XML because get XML is asynchronous method, so it will not put the UI to a buffer mode, okay, till we are fetching the data from the server side. Okay, so I will not discuss in theory, I will not go into all the methods, and let's try it out with the proper demo itself. Okay, so let's go to the instance. So this is the instance which we are using. This is the when we log in. Let's go again to our favorite, which is incident table. Okay, so for this example we will take an example like suppose I have an incident table. On incident table, let's go to the incident table. Okay, and let me open the fix script also so that I can type my theories over there. Okay, just a second. So let me open a new tab. Okay, so what we will do, on incident form we have a field called caller. Okay, the caller who is the user who is calling that incident out. Okay, so we want to populate the email ID of that is caller into a short description so that the person who is acting upon that incident it's assigned to or assignment group will come to know the email ID of that person. Just a general requirement I'm taking. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to based on caller we have to fill short description by email ID of the caller. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so let's go step by step, and I will try to explain you in much simpler way. It's not like it's a rocket science. Okay, so let's try to find it out. So let's go to incident table. Let's understand the requirement first. So we have incident. Under incident I will go to all incidents. On all incidents, so let's open this incident out. Okay, this incident out, and now on this incident we can see we have a caller field which is currently empty. Let's fill it out. Okay, I will use, what should I use, Amit Gujarati only. Let's use Amit Gujarati right now. Okay, and if I click on the info icon, so you can see the email ID is present over here. Okay, so okay, fine. Now we want short description, let's give the short description as test. Okay, so I will be filling description. Okay, so that's it. I will save it out. So the requirement is like, keep as soon as I change the caller, okay, the email ID of that caller should get populated in the description. Pretty simple, right? Not that difficult. Okay, so let's go step by step. So for this, first of all, we have to create a script include. Okay, so I will go over here. I will go to script include. Okay, in script include, I will open one script include. Okay, let's create a new script include. So let's create a new script include. I will give it a name as underscore incident glide Ajax. Okay, incident glide Ajax. And remember one thing, as we will be calling this particular script in the client side, right? So we have the checkbox client callable. I will show you the difference. Okay, if I click outside, so this is a context which got generated, auto generated, right? This is a signature of the method. Now this method is for the server side script. Okay, now we want to call it on the client side, right? So let's make it client callable. Okay, so as soon as I make it client callable, you can see it, the signature got changed. Okay, it's extended the abstract Ajax processor. Okay, so just a second, just give me a second. Okay, so it extends the abstract Ajax processor, and this is signature as you can see on the screen. So the signature will change when we check this checkbox. Okay, now I will define one method called get. Let's define a method called get email, because we want to get email of the user. Okay, get email, and now we will define the logic. So it will be function. Okay, the syntax get change. Okay, I will show you. I will add the comma over here. Now what we have to do, we have to glide the user table, right, to get the user email ID. So I will give variable gr user equal to new glide record. Okay, and I will give sys underscore user over here. So we will be gliding sys user table. Now as you know the function, so I will be doing gr user dot get method. We have to pass the sys ID of the user, right? So I will be get. Now here we, to get the data, to get the required object, we have to pass the sys ID of the caller, right? So how to get that parameter from client side to server side? This is quite simple. We have to do variable caller sys ID. I will give equal to, we can pass it using a method. So it will be like this. We have to give this dot the attribute is get parameter. Okay, so the what get parameter will do, it will take the parameter which you have passed from the client side, okay, with that particular name. Okay, so I will give it a name as sys param. Okay, this is a prefix which we use. Okay, sys param underscore, and now I will give it as user ID. So this will be the input parameter which will be passing from the client side. Okay, so now I will pass this caller sys ID to get, so that we will get the entire user object, right? Now what I will do, I will simply return gr user dot get value of what we want a value of email, right? So I will give value of email. Okay, that's all you have to do. So let's see what we have done. We have created a script include, we have enabled the client callable checkbox. Okay, Then we wrote one function called get email. What exactly it's doing? It's gliding the sys user table. Then we have fetched the parameter which will be passing from the client script. Okay, so we have to keep in mind we'll be passing this parameter from the client side called sysparam underscore user id, and then we simply get that particular user, and then we push only the email of that particular user. Okay, now I have to give quotes. Now I will save it out. Okay, that's all done on the client side. Okay, now let's move on the server side. Now let's move to the client side. So right click, configure, and I will go to client script. In client script I will create a new client script. Okay, and as we have decided we want on change client script, so on change of the caller this field will get evaluated, right? So I will give it a name as a underscore glide ajax. Okay, now if we want, let it run on the desktop itself. On type we will select on change. Now we have to define field. Okay, on which field change we want to execute this particular script. So it's on change of caller field. Okay, then over here we have to define a code, right? So the syntax is quite simple. What we want, so I will give it as variable get email address. Okay, you can give any name over there, it's not mandatory. And now we will create a constructor, call the constructor of the glide ajax class. Okay, so it will be like new glide ajax. Okay, and now it asks for one attribute which is the script include name. Okay, so we have to give the script include name. So what was the script include name for us? It was SR incident glide ajax, right? So we'll copy it out from here and we will paste it over here. This is the first step out of 4. Okay, now the second step is calling the method which is get email. Okay, now we are entered the script include. Now we want to get this particular method, right? For that the syntax is get email address dot, now add param. Okay, keep in mind now we have to add param. The first definition is quite straightforward, and it's like we have to pass sys param underscore name. So keep one thing in mind. Okay, most of the people do this mistake. So here it's param. Okay, when we are defining the attribute, it is sysparam param. Okay, this is a difference. Now here we have to pass the name of the function which we want to call. So for us the name of the function is get email. Okay, now we will go here. I will give the name as get email. Boom, we have done with the second step. Now the third step is like we have to pass the attribute if some attributes are required. If not required, it's optional, you can simply skip it out. But for our example we need the attribute, and that is caller ID, right? So we will give get email address dot, again same, add param, and now we'll be like we will give the attribute which we have mentioned over there. Okay, so what attribute we mentioned over here is like sysparam underscore user ID. So we will copy it out, we can paste it over there, and then we will give it a value like g underscore form dot get value of it was requested by, I guess, right, the field. Let me check it once, I just want to confirm. Okay, so I will go to incident, under incident I will go to all. Okay, all incident, I will open one incident out there, and now let's check what is the backend name for this field. Oh, it's taking a lot of time to load. So it's caller ID, sorry, my mistake, my bad. So it's caller ID. Great. So we will pass it as caller ID. Okay, so now what we did, we took the caller ID and we have passed it into sysparam user ID. Okay, third step is done. Now the fourth step, okay, it's simply get email address dot get XML. Okay, now get XML, as soon as you call this get XML, it will execute the script include on server side and it will get the return value to the client side. Now this calls for callback function, so we have to, it's recommended that we should use callback function to perform all the actions which is required. Okay, so let me call this method as populate email ID because that's what we are gonna do, right? So I will give a callback function populate email ID. Okay, populate email ID I have given. Now we have to define the function, right? Now we have to define what this particular function will do. So for that we will define the function over here itself. It will be like function populate email ID. Okay, now to this populate email ID what will be passing, right? Because now as I told you here we got the response, right? We got the response, right? So I will be passing the response over here, whatever we got from the server side. Now over here in the callback function we can define whatever we want to do with that particular thing. Okay, so it has a common syntax to extract the value of the answer out of it. Okay, so what I will do, variable email ID from script, I will give email ID from script include, so it will be clear for everyone. I'd like to give this kind of name. Okay, and I'll give the syntax is response. Okay, we have a response dot response XML. Okay, response dot response XML. I also means forget it's multiple time, but you can get it out by googling it out. Okay, dot document element dot get tribute. Okay, this is how you can extract the actual answer, okay, out of response. And it's answer. Okay, so we want answer, right? Now it's general, what it's giving, make space tab. Okay, so we can simply control A, shift tab, it will align your code. Okay, nothing to worry about that. Now we got the answer. Okay, now we have to set this out on the on our client script, right? Okay, so what we will do, we will first, it's recommended that we should first clear the field out, okay, before overriding it to that particular field. So it's like gform dot clear value. Okay, clear value from which field, let me confirm it once. Okay, I don't want to mess the things up, so we want to push it into the description field, right? So I've right clicked on that. I'm really bad with the grammar, right? I don't want to make any spelling mistake, so I've copied a description and I made it description. Okay, and now we will set this field with the email ID which we got. So it's like g underscore form dot set value, right? I want this email ID. Okay, so I will give description with this particular. Okay, boom, it's done. So basically what we did, we have created a function in script include, we have performed the 4 steps, it's all with the 4 steps. Then we create a callback function. In the callback function you can perform any kind of action, any kind of validation you want to put. If you want to set some field restriction, or if you want to get some info message, anything. Okay, and then over here I've just set it out. Okay, let's save it out and let's see whether our hard work is paying off or not, right? Okay, now on the incident I will close it out. Okay, let's change it out to some other name. Okay, first of all I will reload it out. Okay, so that there is some cache cookies which will act upon it. So now let's see. Now if I check it with Vicky Kumar, right? Let's okay. What it's got? Script include. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. It should not be a string. It should be a variable. Let's go back. I will reload the form. Oh, you try too hard, then also being a developer, it's your worthful right that you should make a mistake. Okay, so okay, I will now select Sherwani Khan. Sherwani Khan, good. Okay, and now we got the email ID for the same. You can see the email ID was sherwanikhan@gmail.com. Okay, so this is how the Glide Ajax is used. Glide Ajax is the most prominent way and the most recommended way to fetch the data from server side and do perform any kind of action on the client side. Okay, so people were having a taboo that it's quite complicated to use it out. That's why I created this tutorial. Please, if you want to see some more tutorials, right, just mention it in the comments, and the next I will try to bring the tutorial on the same. Okay, till then, thanks a lot. Have a nice day. Like, follow, subscribe, be there with me, okay, in this journey of ServiceNow, and we'll try to learn new things with this platform. Thank you and have a nice day. Goodbye.